Okay, so today we have Emma Bates and Maddie on here joining us for some hard-hitting questions and lead up to the Wausau Marathon. So we're going to get right into it. First question we have for you both. You both just announced new races. Obviously, Emma, you said you're going to go do Chicago, and I know, Maddie, you have a 1 miler this weekend that you just announced.
Yes.
So we're just curious on what goes into choosing races for you both.
Emma, do you want to start?
You start because my dog is barking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I will start. I think it's a combination of, well, for me, because I'm not a marathoner, obviously the distance plays a role. So I can do different distances. Like I'll do 5Ks, I'll do 3Ks, I'll do 1500s or miles. I've gone 10K and I've actually gone a half marathon. So I can do a bunch of different stuff. So part of it is like where we are in training and, if we need something to kind of like sharpen up for the next race coming up, a lot of times we'll do like a 1500 before a 5K just to get kind of sharp for that. But at this point in the season, it's really just kind of like, it's more fun. It's like the fun part of racing. Championships are done. And now it's just like, there's prize money at road miles. And so it's always fun just to go and like compete against some of the best runners and try to win some money or just have a good time. So that's it for me personally.
Yeah. Emma, what about you?
For me, it's quite easy because you can only do like 1 to 2 marathons a year. Well, you should only do a couple of marathons. Some people decide to do a lot more. But for me, 2 is like the ideal. And I really only like to do marathons anymore. I don't like to really do like half marathons or anything shorter. Like some people like to kind of, get the rust off and do a half marathon maybe before the full marathon. But I just like to do the marathon. So I just basically pick world majors nowadays because I have so much fun at them. There's so much hype behind it and it just gets me really excited. And so that's like something so great about like the roads too, is like you train for this for, so many months and there's other people out there, like, thousands of other people that are doing the same thing. So that gets me so motivated to get out the door, just knowing that all these other people are doing the same. And not just like professional runners, but people that are working, 9-to-5 jobs, that have kids and everything. So that is so motivating to me, so inspiring to know that people have these big goals. And then like getting on that start line, it's a big celebration. So like, that's like the best thing about these big, marathons is just so much excitement behind it. So that's how I kind of decide. It's like, if I want to run fast, I obviously do like the ones that don't have the hills. So like New York is a hilly race or Boston is a really hilly race. So that kind of determines, what marathon I do in the fall or spring. But it's always going to be one of those majors, I think, going forward, just because I have such a good time at them.
Yeah. Having only done one, I would agree.
Yeah, it's so fun.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, Boston is like the mother of all marathons too, and you guys were able to experience that. Like once you experience one, you're just hooked. And I'm trying to convince Maddie to get on the marathon train, but I haven't gotten on board yet. Yeah,
keep trying.
There you go. Keep trying.
Yeah, such great energy at Boston or any of the majors, really. Yeah. So you both are deep into your careers, obviously, as professionals. So you just spoke, Emma, about motivation. Where do you find that motivation to train the way that you have to every day? Like, do you ever feel like today is just not my day, like I'm feeling burnt out, or and how do you overcome those sorts of feelings? Or, where does your motivation come from, I guess?
I mean, it's hard to get out the door most days, I would say. That's why I have a wonderful team, Maddie being a part of that team, also team boss, and that's just the accountability, like having people around you that like depend on you to be there or depend on you to like be working as hard as they are. That's what's so great about having such a great support system or people that have like-minded goals. It just allows you to, kind of look beyond yourself and know that like it's going to be hard to get out the door, but like you have these amazing people to meet every day. And so that's what gets me really excited, and seeing them succeed makes me even more motivated to succeed as well. So just rising to that occasion every day, day in and day out.
What about you, Maddie?
I mean, definitely similar to Emma, it really helps to have another group that you're training with where, everyone is working towards big goals. You can all celebrate together and you want to contribute to the success of the team. And so having that accountability is always great. But I think another thing for me is like, if I don't achieve my goals and look back and think I didn't do everything I could, I'll be really disappointed. So that's a big source of motivation for me, is just knowing that I've checked all the boxes, I've done everything I could possibly do. And then whatever the outcome is, I can't be disappointed because I've done everything. So I want to just make sure I'm not leaving any stones left unturned.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
absolutely, that's good advice.
left all out there.
Yeah. To kind of pair off of that, I guess, so if either of you could only win one race the rest of your careers, what race would it be?
You go first, Maddie. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I honestly have
Tough
no
one.
idea. I've actually never won a race before. In any race I've done.
High school,
So,
nothing?
nope, never won a race. No.
Wow.
Yeah, so I think winning a race would be really fun in general anyways. But oh my gosh, that's an interesting question. I mean, obviously there's like, winning like a big championship race would
Sure.
be like winning on the biggest stage possible, but yeah, I honestly don't know if there's like a specific race that I would want to win, but winning,
Okay.
cool.
Yeah. It'll happen.
Emma.
For me, it's hard to say because like the Olympics is like the ultimate.
Yeah.
But then when it comes to marathoning, world majors are also a big ultimate. So it would be hard to choose between the Olympics and another major, which again, I said Boston's like the mother of all marathons. So that would be like huge to win the Boston Marathon. But I think it's pretty on scale with the Olympics. So
Yeah.
one of those two I would be very, very happy with.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with either of
No,
those.
no, no.
Yeah.
And you were just in Paris, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so we were in Paris in the fall time, and
Yeah.
how crazy would it be, like, running the marathon there and like winning there. Yeah,
Seriously. It would
beautiful
be
running city. Yeah.
I was so lucky to get to go there this last week because it's like, a year from now. So hopefully I'll be there, in a year's time. But yeah, just like
Yeah.
inspires me so much. And Le Tour was there, so the Tour de France.
Yeah.
Is so amazing and so spectacular just to be around that energy, and the Parisians are just so excited for all sports, and you can
Yeah.
see the rings are already set up, and so it's all good vibes, definitely.
Yeah, for sure. I love how European cities, more so I think than American cities, like really get into the events. Like
Yeah.
they shut everything down. It's like that's what's going on that day.
Exactly.
Yeah,
They are
so.
really, yep.
Oh, okay. How do you prepare 24 hours before a race? And do you have any like race like
Superstitions, rituals.
like right before you start, or what, or like the morning of, or anything like that?
You go for it, Maddie.
Well, I feel like maybe the marathon's a little different than like shorter distances because it's just a different like state of mind going into the races. Like I think for me, you want to be amped up, but you don't want to be too amped up. So a lot of times like kind of the day before, I don't know, I feel like I just try to have like a relaxed but busy day where I'm not just like laying around thinking about the race nonstop. Like I'll go walk to a coffee shop or like, try a new restaurant for lunch or dinner or something, just try to keep the day exciting and also relaxing at the same time. Usually my go-to dinner is actually Thai food. I feel like a lot of people do pasta, and I really like any type of Asian food because it's like the most basic you can get. It's like rice and protein and a little bit of veggies without going overboard on anything. So that's my go-to. And then I usually also have dessert the night before my races. Like we'll go get ice cream or like a cookie or something fun, just like before the race. And then, yeah, I would say like for any of my races, I always drink coffee beforehand. So that's kind of like part of my pre-race ritual. I'll take like 10 minutes before I go start my warm up to just kind of like close my eyes, do some deep breathing, kind of like visualize how I want the race to unfold. And then from there, it's just you warm up, you get to the start line, and then the gun goes off and kind of like all the nerves melt away and you're ready to go out there and do what you can.
Yeah, I'm lucky I race in the morning. Like track runners typically race in the evening, so you have all day to be nervous. But I love running in the morning because you don't have to think about it. So like the night before, I usually have like some kind of meat product. So I was vegetarian for like 7 years, but now like I just realized like how well my body performs off of meat. So I try to have like steak beforehand. So that's usually my ritual. And also 1 to 2 glasses of wine. Because with the marathon,
I love that.
So yeah, if you've been questioning it, don't question it anymore, do it.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yes.
Well,
Wine,
if Emma says we should,
yeah.
then
Don't deprive yourself of the things that you enjoy, especially when it comes to wine. But for the race, like, I mean, you have to go to bed so early when you race marathons. Like we're up at like 4 a.m. So it really helps me relax the night before and get to sleep also. You want to, make sure you have enough electrolytes and water that night before too. But that is something that I've realized works really well for me is 1 to 2 glasses of wine and then get to sleep. And then I wake up refreshed in the morning, as refreshed as you can be at 4 a.m. And then for the past 10 years of my life, I've had peanut butter and jelly for breakfast every morning. So that has not changed, like whether it be race or just any day, like peanut butter and jelly is my go-to, and then coffee, of course. So gotta get that caffeine in the morning. And when it comes to like trying to stay relaxed, like before the race and at the start line, I used to like suppress my like chaotic energy, but now I kind of just like fold into it. So I try to find somebody that is maybe as chaotic as me and like handle like talking or laughing or trying to express that chaotic energy. Like certain people get so like myself, I used to just like turn in on myself and just like get so nervous and so like sick to my stomach, and then I just wouldn't be able to perform really well. So just kind of letting my body and my mind just like kind of do what it needs to before the race has really served me well. And I can be pretty annoying to other people that maybe don't want to talk or laugh or, kind of be goofy, but that's my go-to, just trying to relax as much as I can by just kind of like releasing some of that energy.
Yeah. No, I same. You used to get really nervous before races, and then I don't know. There's like a calmness now. That's the goal. Just be calm. Yeah. Enjoy the moment, but be calm. So
were you just chatting everyone up, like bopping around the bus out to Hopkinton, just like
I was not on a bus that was very chatty, so
I figured.
So I was like, I'm just gonna take a nap. So I ended up like sleeping on the bus right there, and then once I got off the bus, I was like,
yeah, ready to go. Ready to go.
That's
awesome.
great.
So obviously you're on here helping us out with the Wausau Marathon. So a little about the course. It's a little technical in spots. We've had to incorporate a couple out and back sections or a couple turnaround spots. So what would be advice from either of you or both of you on navigating a course that might have a couple sections? It is a flat course, but it does have a couple technical spots where there's a couple turns that come in succession of each other. How would you navigate or prepare for a course like that?
Marathoner, go for it.
Yeah. So when it comes to like hills or certain turns, like I've never ran a marathon with tight turns, but there are like half marathons and shorter distances that I've definitely ran those hairpin turns. And like I've just realized that you can't be so rigid to your pace. So like don't pay attention to your watches when it is those technical areas, because it doesn't matter. And like even like on the flat portions, it's like you don't want to be a slave to your watch, but it is just you have to know that there's going to be changes throughout the course. Like you're not going to be able to maintain that pace the entire time. And so I tend to look at my watch like every once in a while just to make sure like I'm around the realm of what I wanted my goal pace would be. But it is just, you can't really control those factors when it comes down to it. Like when I ran Boston, I wasn't really sure how fast those downhills would be, and then I wasn't sure how slow the uphills would be. I never ran the course before. So that is something that like you just have to be, you just have to acclimate. You just have to be really comfortable and just like being accommodating with, you know, your time and how you're feeling. So really just turn to the way that your body feels. And if it feels too fast, too soon, then that's when, you know, you need to kind of like back off or not be so, you know, attuned to your pace or your watch.
Sure. Maddie, do you have experience running more technical courses?
Yeah, I mean, I can't really speak to the pacing component as much because I do shorter stuff, so it's usually like you're just going hard the whole time.
Right.
But I've definitely run several courses that have like, yeah, out and back like a 180 turn or things like that. I think the two biggest things are, one, run the tangents. So what that means is like the shortest distance on the course. If the course is going to turn left, don't be on the right side of the road. Like you want to kind of like go towards that left side. You don't need to like beeline it over there, but just kind of like make it so that you're almost trying to run a straight line the whole time. And you're kind of like in the middle of all the turns and things like that. So that way you're not running extra. That was a big thing that our coach worked with us on in track. If you're not like hugging the inside of the curve, you end up running an extra like 10, 20, 30 feet over the course of even like a 1500 meter race. So it adds up. So just running the tangents as best you can is helpful. And then for the turns, like it's okay to kind of stop and pivot and then start again. Like I think a lot of people try too hard to, like Emma said, maintain their pace going into extreme turns. And, you know, that can like twist an ankle or, you know, and it's going to be crowded. So it's okay to take like a couple walking steps or just a couple like shorter steps to get the turn. And then you can kind of ease back up into your pace, but not trying to like go too hard into that turn because that's going to be difficult to maintain. So yeah, that's what I would suggest.
That's great advice and will be absolutely helpful for our course.
Awesome.
I'm going to ask this one.
So yes, we talked about humidity before we started the interview. It's the race is like the middle of August, so it's going to be pretty humid. How do you prepare for humid conditions when racing?
Well,
Like
I would say, like,
nutritionally
yeah.
and and tactically, yeah.
Honestly, the best thing you can do is electrolyte load. A lot of people know what carb loading is, where they're eating more carbs going into the race, but electrolyte loading is loading up on electrolytes kind of prior to the race. And it's obviously hard to get a lot of fluids in the morning of the race. So kind of preloading with fluids and electrolytes helps with that. And you can really go like 2000 milligrams plus of sodium the day before from electrolyte drinks. So if you're thinking of like noon tablets, that's the equivalent of like 6 noon tablets, which is a lot. So I usually like to use, like, I know it's a lot, but I like to use the higher electrolyte ones like Element or LMNT. It's 1000 milligrams per serving. So you can just do like 2 of those. But definitely like getting a lot of electrolytes. I think a lot of runners tend to overhydrate with just water. And that's not going to help you when it's super humid and you're sweating out all your electrolytes. That can actually be kind of dangerous because it can dilute those too far and then you get like dizzy or you pass out or things like that. So definitely electrolytes and fluids. And then I would say, like, don't drink more than you ever drank in your life the day before the race to try to compensate for it. If you have to pee more than every hour, you're too hydrated. Like add some electrolytes or back off a little bit. But yeah, definitely electrolyte load and just make sure you're drinking a reasonable amount of fluids are usually like kind of the best ways nutritionally you can prepare.
Well, what about you? Last time you were in Chicago, I think it was a little bit warmer, more humid. And Paris next year might have warm, humid conditions. So
Definitely, yes. I know the warm, humid conditions well. New York this last year was also sweltering. So yeah, my past like 4 marathons besides Boston were like quite hot. And so I went into Chicago in 2021 like knowing that it was going to be really hot and like I'm not going to hit my goal pace. I'm not going to be able to run as fast as what I wanted to. So going into the race knowing that that wasn't going to happen, my coach and I were able to kind of reassess and make it make sure that I would go out a lot slower than what I would normally go out at. And so because I did that, going out way slower in the first half, I was able to maintain just like my composure and not lose as many, you know, electrolytes during it, and was able to like maintain my pace. I think I even picked it up. I think I negative split during the race where everybody else went out really hard, not really caring about how hot it was, and just faded very hard. So I ended up passing, I mean, I want to say 8 to 10 people that last half, just because I went out really conservatively and ended up taking second in the race. So that is something that I really try to like hone in to everybody that's in a humid race, is just like, you're going to be really far off of your goal pace, but like you want to feel good that last half. So really just make sure that first half is easy, and you're going to be able to feel a lot better than what you would if you were to, you know, be rigid in that pace, that goal pace. So it doesn't mean that you can't PR on that day, but just don't PR in the first half.
Yeah, I feel like that's just good advice in general. A lot of people tend to go out pretty hot.
I'm gonna break the world record today. Like, you know, like I've never run a 6-minute mile. I usually run a 9-minute mile, but today I'm running a 6-minute mile.
Right. Like preparation. So yeah, if you're not doing that in practice, you're not going to do it in the race.
Totally. So now we get to some really hard hitting questions here, and this is where Anna gets to shine.
Yeah, really, just professional journalism here. Okay, so you guys both have beautiful curly hair and beautiful skin, and you spend a lot of time obviously outside in the sun, and it's very dry where you live. How do you take care of your skin and your hair? Like, do you have what's your favorite sunscreen? You know, do you use a certain like leave-in product in your hair? People want to know.
Do you want to go, Eva?
No, you got it.
Okay. Well, I think the biggest thing with like training, obviously, is you're sweating a lot every single day. So it's tempting to wash your hair every single day, but that honestly damages your hair a lot more. So I try to save my hair washing days for like workout days or like a long run day. So I usually end up washing my hair like 2 to 3 times per week.
Especially use with like curly hair, you're not supposed to wash it as frequently, right?
Yes, for sure. And I use a product, it's called Diva Curl, DEVA. It's it works really well for me, but like other people don't like it. So that's something that I've found works, and that's what I use. But yeah, I use like a deep conditioner once a week. So I make sure I do like a deep condition weekly just to kind of help with the dryness, because between like the dryness and then you get like salt in your hair from your sweat, it's like ocean hair all the time, so it's really dry. So that's usually what I do. And then I always make sure that I'm wearing sunscreen when I go run. Like I always put SPF 50 on my face and then at least SPF 30 on my body, and like chances are you're going to sweat it off pretty early, but at least having some coverage is definitely ideal, especially like for us, we have really intense sun from being at altitude. So you're like much higher risk for skin cancer and things like that. So I always wear sunscreen every day that I run.
Do you have a favorite like facial sunscreen that you love?
So I use just like the Neutrogena. It's like clear skin sunscreen one that's just like low oil or whatever. And then I just use like Coppertone Sport for sunscreen.
Because you're going through so much of it on your body, you know.
Exactly. But I also have tried Supergoop, and a lot of my teammates really like that one. It's like a nice like light feel. So that one's really nice. I would recommend Supergoop.
I like Supergoop too.
Yeah.
Fun name.
I know.
Scott's like, I can leave the room right now. I don't care.
I just use the same all over.
You use the one like hair shampoo, conditioner, body wash.
Oh yeah, just the 10 in 1.
I'm a guy.
Yes,
I don't know. That's just how it works for us.
Right.
What about you, Emma? Any secrets?
Yeah, I do the 2 to 3 times a week to wash the hair, workout days, of course. But I use Pros. They caught me on Instagram, the Instagram ad. I hate being that person, but I'm such a sucker.
We're,
So
we're all that person sometimes, you know.
And it's great because you can take this quiz on their website and you can like say like where you live and like what your hair type is and all these things, like all these questions, and it really like specifies what your formula should be because of like the hard water in Colorado and then the, you know, the sun exposure and everything like that. So that has changed my life. I just started using it this year and I feel like my hair is just fuller and curlier and just healthier. So I love that.
Writing that down.
Yes.
I get those ads too, Emma, so that's good to know. Maybe
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
They know what they're doing. And then when it comes to, yeah, a lot of sunscreen, I use Alba sunscreen, like the spray. So like I like the spray just because it doesn't feel as thick on your body because you're outside, you're sweating so much, of course. That's like SPF 50, I think, as well. And then for my face, I use Ilia, ILIA.
Yeah,
And that's like a
Ilia.
skin tint. Yes. And it feels very light and it's got hyaluronic acid. So it's super good for your skin. And again, it like makes your skin just kind of glow. So look good, feel good, run good.
Yeah, you have that glow going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My skin is really oily in general. So like I definitely don't need like much else besides that, which is really nice. But obviously like yeah, living again in Colorado, like you have to
It's
put
so
on,
dry.
yeah. So I'm lucky with that regard that I don't have to put too much on because my face is already oily enough.
Well, Emma, a question for you. The people want to know what mascara you use because you have the best eyelashes.
I always get this question. It's so funny.
Do you?
Yeah, always. And I need to be sponsored by them or ambassador for them because the amount of times that I share this with people. Thrive Cosmetics. So it's an online company. I haven't seen it sold anywhere else, but Thrive is what it's called. And it's the best mascara I've ever used. And it is really easy to get off, but it's also waterproof. So like I can wear it during the marathons and when you're sweating and you're like pouring water on yourself and everything, it stays there. And I don't know how, but then when you get in the shower, it's super easy to come off. So.
I tried it like years ago. I will have to try it again. You've inspired me. It's like a tubing mascara, right? Or
Yeah.
It is what it. Okay.
Yep.
Well, this is for okay. Well, this is for both of you. So at the end, and Maddie, you just might want to put on your like dietitian earmuffs right now. But at the end of a very like long training run, so we live in Lincoln Park in Chicago, and we're like half a mile from the lake, and there's this little 7-Eleven right by like 2 blocks from our apartment. And at the end of a super long run, we do swing by the 7-Eleven and we'll get like a big Coke Zero. He'll buy like a small pack of donuts. I'll buy some like garbage chip or something and just eat it like on the walk home from like a very long training run. What is your favorite guilty pleasure garbage food post run? If you I'm not sure if you ever do that.
Yeah, definitely. I go to 7-Eleven after most of my workouts and get Slurpees. So don't worry. It's not just you guys.
Okay.
And we don't even get Coke Zero. We get the real regular Coke with sugar in there. So yeah, I mean, cold, like right now I get a cold drink after like every workout, whether that's like Gatorade or some type of like lemonade or a Slurpee or something like that. But yeah, those. Slurpees, those are the best. And then yeah, post race, I feel like I normally end up going somewhere like In-N-Out just because it's always like a late race and it's the only thing that's open. But you know, I'm a firm believer in not just like saving something for post race. So if I want a burger and fries, like I don't have to wait for after my race to have that, but you know, maybe I don't have it the night before, but I have it the night after. So yeah, I mean, honestly, yeah, right now in the summer, something cold, whether that's like Slurpee or soda or whatever. But yeah, post race, just like whatever sounds good.
Good answer.
Yeah, I don't deprive myself of anything like throughout the entire season. I feel like a lot of people do that and it makes it really easy to burn out mentally and physically. So I think the longevity of my career is due to the fact that I have not deprived myself of anything. You know, like I've added things in, I've never taken things out, which I think has been a great just life to live. I recommend that to everybody. But when it comes to, yeah, like going to like the 7-Eleven, it's all about like Red Bull or Modelo. Love them both. And post race, it's usually Modelo, just trying to get those carbs back as quickly as possible. It's like I cannot eat for a while after a marathon, but I can drink, definitely can drink. So and yeah, so like, I mean, we go to brunch like so much as a team too, and just like everybody has like pancakes and waffles and bacon and all these things. So again, like we work really hard and we exercise a lot. That like, I mean, why deprive of yourself of the things that
I mean,
about balance.
you need it.
Yeah, you need it. You need it.
Mm-hmm.
So Emma, when you ran Boston, when you got to your hotel room, was there just like a whole bunch of like fun swag in there waiting for you?
No.
Oh, there was.
No.
I'm just wondering, like when else are we going to get to ask these kinds of questions? Like, what did you walk in and it's just a hotel room, or was there like a bunch of fun like stuff in there for you?
The professional running life isn't as extravagant as people may think it is. But we do get like a gift like every like marathon that you do. And I got this beautiful blanket that had the Boston Marathon logo on it and everything. So that's like what we get is like, a blanket or like a mug or a notebook or something like that. But it's nothing too extravagant, I would say.
Have you ever gotten anything like any fun swag, Maddie?
Yeah, pretty similar. Like I a lot of times will do the 5K in New York the day before the marathon. It's like the US 5K champs. So they'll do like a little mug or travel mug, or like I still have my like really nice travel mug from that. So I feel like, yeah, they'll give you some fun stuff. Like I just did a road mile up in Michigan. It's the cherry capital of the world. It's Charlevoix, Michigan. So they gave us some like cherries and like, fun little things from the area. So yeah, I feel like a lot of the road races especially are really like what's the word I'm looking for, like welcoming or very friendly, and they'll usually give you some little like fun gift as a thank you for coming. So that's always really fun.
It is fun. I really like that.
It is.
And my last question is for both of you. Emma, you have celiac disease, and so do I. And do you have any favorite gluten-free treats or snacks that you like go by? Or Maddie, for your gluten-free clients, do you have any that you recommend to people that are very tasty? I'm always on like the hunt for a good cracker that actually tastes like a cracker, or like like the texture is good.
Yeah, Modelo, obviously, that's my treat a lot of times, which is under like 22 ppm, so parts per million of gluten. So
I didn't realize that.
I can drink it. I wouldn't recommend it to all people with celiac because I don't know what like their sensitivity level is, but for me, my sensitivity level is okay with the 22 ppm. Or ppm. So that's my go-to treat a lot of times. Like when it comes to like crackers and snacks and everything like that, like I tend to go to Whole Foods quite a bit just because there's so options, but I'm such an ice cream person. I think Maddie is too. So like it's so easy to find so many, ice cream treats that are, naturally gluten-free. But I'm trying to think of like a cracker that I go to
or like a cookie, or like just some like fun like snacky treats.
I tend to like bake things if I'm gonna go, to the cookie shop. But there's a lot of like local places here in Boulder that have breads and stuff like that. So it's really an up and coming thing too. Like you can find it a lot more places. Like even going to Paris, there was so many gluten-free places or gluten-free options.
Yeah, there are.
I went to town in Paris with the peach.
we found this little bakery, and I think I bought like almost one of everything. I was like, I just have to try it all.
I know. I feel like we should film people coming in there because everybody that comes in there is just like, oh my gosh, is this heaven? Like, this is the most amazing thing I've ever seen. Like, I can eat
Yes.
anything in this entire building. Like,
I
what?
know.
So it is very, very exciting and
Yeah.
special when you do find those spaces.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, if you're ever in Madrid, we spend part of the year there for the last couple of years, and there are some really great gluten-free bakeries there. Really
Yeah,
nice.
Europe seems to do it a little bit better.
Yeah.
Yes, interesting. Yeah.
Yep.
They're
Maddie,
catching on here, but just not as quickly. Yeah.
yeah. Do you have any products that you like that are gluten-free?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I have a lot of gluten-free clients, so I've done a lot of research on things that are good. I've tried them all myself. Honey Stinger Waffle makes a really great gluten-free version. That's a great like pre-run. Rice Krispie Treats, another great pre-run that's gluten-free.
Yeah.
Cracker recommendation, Nut Thins. Those are probably the best gluten-free cracker.
Oh, Nut Thins.
Yeah, I prefer Nut Thins to other crackers myself. I just think they're really good. So those are good. Like gluten-free pretzels typically taste the same as regular pretzels. Sometimes they're crispier. Yeah, so they're even better. I feel like for cookies, Trader Joe's does the like JoJo's, that a lot of those are actually gluten-free, and those are like kind of like Oreos. They're really good. Yep. And Tate's cookies, they have a gluten-free one. They're like the crunchy ones. Those are really good. And then cereals, like Chex cereals are all gluten-free. Those are really like, they have so many good flavors. So those are my like biggest recommendations. And then like, you know, like rice cakes, those can be a nice substitute to gluten-free bread if you don't like the texture of the bread. So those are a few of my favorites for my clients.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's all we had. Again, we appreciate both of your time and just helping us out and doing this. I think people are going to love it, and wishing you both the best of luck with the rest of your seasons, and very excited to watch you, Emma, in Chicago here later this year. And Maddie,
cheering you on.
Yeah, best of luck to you as well, Maddie, with your
Thank
upcoming
you.
races and the rest of your year too. So
Thank you so much.
Yeah, really appreciate it.
All right, thanks you guys.
See you guys soon, and thank you again for asking us to do this. This is, again, I'm honored to be a part of it. So thank you.
I hope that the questions were fun.
Oh, yeah, they were fun. Oh, yeah.